Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.
I'm Michael Burke, and this is Money Talks. Hi, welcome to today's Money Talks, and this one is really an exciting one for me. I'm here with Jim Bowman, the project manager for the Machinery Row $65 million redevelopment. And yes, you heard me right, $65 million. And that's actually only the first big phase and could go beyond that, which we will definitely talk about. So Jim, welcome to Money Talks. Just to kind of bring people up to speed who may not have read the earlier stories, in early June, Financial District Properties, the company you're doing the work for, announced this redevelopment of Machinery Row, and this is an old industrial segment, and it includes Zarian Marina, along Water Street, north side of Water Street, between Marquette and basically the top of the hill. I know this had been kind of a twinkle in the eye of FDP for a while. Do you know how long it had, how did FDP find this site, and then how long had it been working with the three property owners?
Yeah, actually we've been involved for almost a year and a half now. Mm-hmm. We were brought to Racine by the Vanderwall and Associate planning firm out of Madison that works for the city and the county, and is the master planner behind the Root River vision strategy. And we have a relationship with them and worked in a number of communities, and they often look for opportunities to bring the right developers to projects that they're working on. So that's how we discovered Racine. Mm-hmm.
And this was a case where there were three different property owners, one being Zarian Marina, one owner of the building we're in right now, and we'll talk about this amazing building, and then a separate owner of the second building.
Correct.
And this was an all-or-nothing negotiation for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't just get one building.
No,
you had to have the whole.
Thus, it took almost an entire year to secure the option agreements to then control the property, then allowed us to then make further commitments with the city on the overall development.
And actually, it was actually a step more complex than that, because one of the property owners also had a couple others, and he said, you buy this one, you got to buy the other ones too. So
that's not uncommon in our world of redevelopment. Oftentimes you have to buy the whole ball of wax, so to speak.
Well, Financial District Properties, Davenport, Iowa based, as is, by the way, our newspaper, Lee Enterprises. Right. Talk about a couple of the catalytic projects it's done before, what it did and what resulted.
Yeah, the one that I'm most familiar with, because I had a hand in it, was the redevelopment of downtown Moline and the Mississippi riverfront, where Rodney Blackwell, our principal and owner, he and I negotiated the third phase of a three-phase development known as Bass Street Landing to build state-of-the-art, platinum LEED certified North American headquarters for Kone, the Finnish company known for manufacturing of elevators and escalators. And it was a pure retention project to keep them in Moline. And
was that a ground-up build or
all brand new?
Okay.
And again, it was the completion of a major phased-in development and part of the John Deere Commons, which had been a whole remake of the downtown. And Vanderwall and Associates were the key visionary planners behind that now 30-year plan, and it's eerily similar that how the relationships and the opportunity and a city that has a major farm and agricultural and construction implement manufacturer in his backyard.
Well, so when was that building completed, and has it spawned any other development around it?
It actually was completed in 2011, and again, it was the first platinum LEED certified building in the state of Illinois.
By the way, for those who don't know, that's a certification for highly energy conserving buildings.
Yeah, environmentally friendly, energy efficient. The building literally breathes and lives and creates its own energy, and it's a very clean environment for the people that work in the building and live in the building, because it's a mixed use development. It has brought about more development. Moline has seen great expansion and growth further up the riverfront with Western Illinois University and its Mississippi River campus and associated complementary development. So it's just a building block and a domino effect of having that nearly $50 million investment culminate.
And of course, that's the kind of thing that the city fathers would love to see happen here. Is not just a one-off, but this being the start. And this fits so perfectly. You alluded to it earlier. This whole River Corridor redevelopment plan.
Right.
But this is exactly what the plan called for, was to take the old industrial, let's face it, in the old days, the industries were built along rivers, so why? So you could put your stuff in the river that you didn't want. And transportation, yes, thank you. But that's what they would like to see too, and we will get into that a little bit. So let's talk about this amazing building we're in. 500,000 square feet. This is the first of the two buildings, the other one being half its size. What I know about the building, these two were built between 1908 and 1915 by J.I. Case Company, but you know a lot more about it. So tell us some of the attributes of this building.
Well, actually, historically, this building was used to dismantle engines. I believe they were steam engines by Case.
Tractor engines, it would have been.
That were then shipped overseas. So they were manufactured, I think, across the River, rail over here, and then dismantled and then railed out to lands overseas and to for exports. So it has since then had other uses, and Western Publishing used it. But we see this as a real gem, and this space in particular has just tremendous opportunity for a number of uses. And we're excited. We're working with a number of prospects that are going to just change the whole complexity of this part of Racine, starting in this space right here.
Well, let's talk about the use of the building then. The idea for this project is mixed use, meaning some commercial and some residential. Why don't we just start with the residential? Your company envisions about 100 or so loft apartments, making use of the big natural beams that were of the time. Loft apartments. Not condos, right?
No,
apartments?
No. The upper, the second and third floor of the main building towards the river on that side will primarily be those loft apartments, market rate, and we're very excited. We feel there's a real opportunity here. We've heard not only from the housing market and the real estate folks, but also the businesses and the corporations that say they need this kind of living offering to attract and retain talent. And so we see this as a real opportunity to help with the whole economic development of Racine in the region. So that'll be a major component.
I assume those will have, we've got the river here, and I assume they will have views of the river and this whole part of what's basically a valley. I think we're going to pick up the commercial development in part 2.
Sure, okay.
So I hope you will come back next week to watch part 2 and hear the rest of this really fascinating story.
All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.